Becky had mentioned this piece that you just wrote in Time magazine, and we wanted to ask you about it. It refers specifically to what seems like you poll young people about the world, the word capitalism, and they may be on the socialist side of things.
I don't think they understand. Honestly, I don't think people understand what socialism is. Socialism is when the government controls companies. There is no example where the government controls companies, they do it well, and they don't start to use it for votes, satisfying people. They don't even want competition, because if we're two government companies, why have competition? They do it for jobs and votes. They have bad allocation of capital. Most state-owned enterprises don't do a particularly good job. Just take a look around the world, and they become corrupt over time. That does not mean that capitalism is perfect. It doesn't mean that every public company is perfect. No, there are flaws.
Do you think that Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren are socialists in the construct that you talked about it, or in the construct of this idea of a democratic socialist, which is something that may feel more European in some ways?
I don't want to talk about any particular people. But if you're talking about governments controlling corporations, that's socialism. You can do it in a small way, or you can do it in a big way. The small way is to put a commissar on your board. Remember the old Russian commissars? That's all. They're just going to sit in the room, or do it through regulatory or stuff like that. The other way is that they actually own the company. And, that's why if you look at all these other countries, they start to take over the oil companies and the steel companies and the utility companies.
And the banks.
And the banks. And then the banks start making loans not to a good company, not because they're properly allocating capital to its highest and best use, but to keep that factory open, the bridge to nowhere, to make sure the mayor doesn't lose jobs in his town. And once you do that, you will have an eroding society. And having said all that, that doesn't mean that when I listen to people talk about a society, that things need to be fixed. They do need to be fixed. Inner city schools, infrastructure, education, healthcare. We could fix all of those.
What'd you make of
in a capitalist society?